Well, hello there. My name is Cynthia Rowland, and I am the host of the Ageless Sisters television shows. And today I have a very special guest. She's really smart, she's beautiful, and her name is Kerri Zane. And she has written a book that is called It Takes All Five. But more than that, she has got a background in TV, and she's an award-winning television producer. So welcome, Kerri Zane. Thank you for coming.
I like that send-up.
Oh,
smart
yes.
and pretty.
Yes, exactly. World famous even. How's that?
Okay, I like it. I'll take it.
Okay, perfect. Kerri, how did you become so talented?
My mom.
Yeah? She made sure you went to school?
She did. I studied hard. From the ground up, I learned, I think you're talking about the production business.
Mm-hmm.
I started off as a PA and worked my way up to becoming a producer and started running my own company with my former husband, and we were very lucky. We were very lucky to be at the right place at the right time and have some great success.
What did you like best about your television career?
Oh God, everything. Yes.
Okay, good.
The creative part of it is so much fun and so invigorating and fulfilling. I loved it. And I did all kinds of things. I did animated shows. The show that I won an Emmy for was A School Break, which they used to do back in the day. I did a lot of reality television for almost every cable channel. You name it, I probably worked for them.
Before it was in vogue, you were already in reality television.
Yes, pretty much, because my first show was called Name Your Adventure, and Mario Lopez was the host of the show.
What a cutie pie.
Oh, yes, those dimples are forever. And we made kids' dreams come true, so it was reality. It was definitely the predecessor. In 1991 is when we started.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, you don't look like you're old enough to be that.
Yes, I started when I was 12.
There you go. There you go.
Had my children at 13.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me about this book, It Takes All Five. Tell me about the premise of it and what it is you want our audience to know about this book, because I have a feeling it's going to be a really good read, and I am going to read it.
Good. And it is a good read. When I got divorced 11 years ago, and I remember when I went through the process, it was one of the most challenging things I ever had to face in my life. And when I realized, I wrote this book for single moms, but it truly is for everyone who faces a trauma or a challenge and needs to do some soul searching and some inner work to get through that process and come out the other side being more whole, fulfilled, confident woman. Or even a man,
yeah,
and then move on into new relationships or new jobs or whatever is whatever they see in their future.
Well, that's very interesting. What do you want our audience to know about what it takes to write a book, living from your own experience and putting it on paper? That's kind of brazen, actually, isn't it?
It is a little bit putting yourself out there, but I have to say, part of writing a book is it's very cathartic. It's definitely an expression of myself. I knew that I wanted to give back to women and let them know that they were not alone and they don't have to be afraid. And there is a wonderful life after divorce, and you can have a different relationship if you choose.
Well, that's a good point, if you choose, because a lot of women still harbor a lot of deep-seated anger toward their exes, and they find it very difficult to move forward in their new life. So maybe some of this information that you've imparted will help them long term.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I wrote in the book that I love, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it, is I tell people even a bad date is a good story. So dating becomes, I want people to look at it like a journey as opposed to a means to an end. You cannot fit, every round peg into the square hole, or maybe it's vice versa. Right? But if you look at dating as if you're going out, you're going to meet a new person, you're going to learn what they're interested in, you're going to learn about their job, maybe they have some fabulous hobby, like I learned a lot about wine from a wine connoisseur, and he wasn't ultimately the right person for me, but I know I like Shiraz now.
Okay. That's a good point. You learn a lot of new things about every person that you come in contact. Do you have any tips or helpful hints for our listeners that you would like for them to know? Just like one or two that you could say, now this will really help you out.
I think that, in terms of moving forward in any kind of, challenge or trauma, I always tell people it's okay to cry. It's okay to take time to grieve. And actually crying, I love science and I love research. And so scientifically, there's a chemical that releases in our body when we cry that's actually very healing and soothing. So do it. It's okay.
So cry.
Put
It's
on
okay.
a sad song and cry. But then, then you got to kind of move out of it, and get to know yourself and really get to know what you love about you, so that when you go out on a date or even when you go out with your girlfriends, you know that you're expressing yourself authentically from yourself. You can't go wrong that way.
That's exactly right. That is great. So Kerri, when you named your book, It Takes All Five, who are these five that we're talking about?
They are a witch. And, when I help women kind of go through the process and they're ready to start dating again, I like them to look at their list, so to speak, from a different perspective.
Now, their list for what?
A list for who they want next
Okay.
time around.
All right.
And so I call it my 5-finger philosophy.
Okay.
And what each finger represents is a different aspect of who we are as humans. So it is your physical, emotional, mental, sexual, and spiritual. So if you can find someone who matches all of those aspects of you perfectly, then you've got a rock-solid relationship, a rock-solid hold. And you don't have to find them all at one time. You can find 2 or 3, and you can work on doing the rest, finding the rest together and exploring each other.
Right, because some aspects may have to be developed as you build your relationship.
And it's all about that communication.
Oh, that's great. Well, Kerri, thank you for joining us today, and I want our listeners to know that Kerri is also going to be on the radio show, The Ageless Sisters, so you can look for our interview. It's coming up very soon, and you'll know more about Kerri, more about her book, and what it is to have a life without...
A life with everything.
A life with everything. I like that.
Yes.
That's so great. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming
Thank you.
today.